tier list is going to work before we actually get to doing this tier list, right? Because I want to be clear. When we make this tier list, we will only be placing Umas in tiers that, number one, they have released in global. So, for example, Kawakami Princess and Admire Vega here, we are not going to evaluate them because they're not out in global yet. That's number one. They have to be released in global. So basically everyone up until Naruto Brian was the latest. Saiyan Sky is next, but Saiyan Sky is not out yet, so we're not gonna do that yet. And variants do not count as separate Umas for this one, so I'm not going to like evaluate Teo and then animate Teo. We're gonna treat both as one variant because, I mean, to be fair, if we did, we'd have to go through Wedding Top Gun and then Top Gun and then Wedding Air Groove and then Air Groove. And that list is just gonna get bigger, so yeah. We're basically gonna focus on base Umas. And then number two, how are we going to evaluate these Umas? Number one, we will be evaluating these Umas on three different aspects, okay? Three different aspects. The first aspect is number one, their design and their personality. Like, obviously, like that is something that I do look for in an Uma. Number two, we are going to evaluate them on their real life counterpart as well, right? After all, these Umas are based on real life horses, and I honestly think one of the strongest appeals of Umamusume is how they are very loyal or accurate as possible to the real life counterpart of all of these Umas, right? So, for example, if any of you watched Cinderella Grey, Ogre Cap, before many of her races, she would shake her head and wag her tail like a dog. That's because if you watch any of Ogre Cap's races IRL, the horse also did that in every race. Yeah, we will be evaluating these horses based on their real life counterparts. Number three, we will also be evaluating them as Umamusume. And I use the term Umamusume as a broad term for basically these Umas, these characters based on their character as a student of Traisen Academy. All right, so yeah, those are the three aspects we will be evaluating these Umas based off on. So just to recap, number one, personality and design. Number two, real life counterpart. And I'll add to that, real life counterpart, including like their race record and whatnot. Number three, their personality and character as an Umamusume, aka as a student of Traisen Academy. All right, let's give this a go, guys. All right, so we'll be editing these tiers because, to be fair, I don't think this is going to be... No, this is not my tier list style. To be honest, this is not my tier list style. Like, I know a lot of tier lists do this, like S, SS, SABCD, right? Or top 5, top 3, whatever. That's not my style. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to be making tier lists really specific to some horses. So let's get started. And it looks like everything is arranged alphabetically, it seems. Yep. I think Taiki Shuttle is here, but Simbali Rudolph is here. But Sirius Simbali, okay. Because a lot of the ones here are like A, so I'm like, you know, Admire Vega, Agnes Digital, Agnes Tachyon, Air Groove, Air Shakur. So yeah, like, okay. Oh, Biko Pegasus is here. All right. Let's start with the very first The very first Uma, Agnes Tachyon. Oh boy, where are we gonna put you? So just to recap, Agnes Tachyon, the whose name is based on a scientific hypothesis of a particle that travels faster than the speed of light, which I think is a very badass name. Agnes Tachyon, of course, being very famous or infamous for having a perfect record. 4 races, 4 wins. Winning the first leg of the Triple Crown races, also called the Phantom Triple Crown. Reasoning for Phantom Triple Crown is because, unfortunately, after the Satsuki show, she sustained a career-ending injury. But of course, because of that potential that Agnes Tachyon had, when she retired, she was made a stud, and one of her prominent children is, of course, Daiwa Scarlet. And as we all know, Daiwa Scarlet is a very popular mare, having a very, very good, consistent record as well. 12 races, 8 first placements, and 4 second place placements. So technically, she always placed. And when we say placed, when we say a horse placed, that means that they are in top 3. So, although you could say that she got second, so she lost. Technically, yes. But, I guess in most competition technicalities, top 3 is technically not losing. So technically, Daiwa Scarlet never lost, but majority of her wins are, of course... majority of her results are first place placements, right? 8 of her 12 races are first place placements. 4 of them are second place. So she did not even place third. I think that's really cool. Right. So now as for Agnes Tachyon, right? I think it's really cool that let me bring up her design. I really think I really think Agnes Tachyon's design is like really cool. I mean, that lab coat looks very comfortable. Like, I'd love to wear that lab coat. And I really like how, just by looking at this picture alone, you can already tell that Agnes Tachyon is probably a very difficult student to work with. She's not following the dress code because that is I don't know if this is a sweater, but I think it is. It's a yellow sweater on top of her Tracen Academy uniform, I believe. I think that's the Tracen Academy skirt and shirt below that sweater, I think. And then, of course, the tights and the pure white shoes with the golden belt over there. I think that's really, really nice. But yeah, overall, I really think Agnes Tachyon has a very nice design. And just by looking at this design, you're like, yep, she is a student that does what she pleases. And of course, we all know the memes about Agnes Tachyon's obsession with experimentation, wanting to break through the limits and figure out what are the limits of an Umamusume and try to break it. Which is, I think, a really cool and sad reference, I guess, to Agnes Tachyon IRL, who, again, had a very dominant performance as a horse, really ran very fast, but unfortunately, the body gave in to her speed and overall performance that she had to retire. So I think that's really nice and cool and also kind of sad. But for this, and to add to that, of course, as a Tracen Academy student, she's not an easy student to discipline, I guess, and work with. Not saying that's a bad thing, of course. I'm just stating that as a fact. I'm stating that as a fact. All right. So, our first, okay, we'll put our top tier as this one. Let Let's see. Model student. Model student. Great to be model student. Uma. And great partner. We'll just call it partner. Then here for the bottom tier, and again, I only use bottom because of the placement, not because like bottom equals crap, right? No, it's just here over here. Just to be clear, just because they are here in the bottom doesn't mean they are bottom tier in the conventional terms of a tier list, right? Doesn't mean they're shit. It just means that they are, like, in terms of, I guess, difficulty in dealing with them, as an Uma, as a student of Trace Academy, and as a partner friend, not easy, but doesn't mean that they're crap. So, we'll put them here as let them do what they want. Let them do what they want. Else you face consequences. There you go. We'll do that there. So basically, these are the difficult to work with Umas. We'll put Agnes Taki in here. Let them do what they want. Else you face consequences. All right. Next is Air Groove. Air Groove. One of the first milers I used in the game. So, Air Groove, I recall she is the daughter of Dinah Carl. Dinah Carl is a Japan Oaks winner. And for those who don't know what Japan Oaks is the mare version of the Japanese Derby. Only mares can participate in this competition, and basically, it was a mother and daughter achievement to have Air Groove and Dinah Carl win the same competition. The Japan Oaks. Successful mare, and of course, her succeeding children were also very highly rated. One of the most successful ones is none other than Duramente. Duramente is the grandchild of Air Groove. The mother of Duramente is Air Groove's daughter, Admire Groove. If I got that correct. Yes. Yeah, I got it correct. All right, so as for her racing outfit, I really like how, again, I'm not the biggest fan of asymmetry, but this is done really well because, again, I know a lot of horses, right? They have different colored legs or hooves or sleeves on their. I do not know what they call it, but this kind of references that, and I think that's nice. One thing I have a problem about her outfit, though, it's a little bit all over the place, but I still think it looks very nice. If there's one thing I really like about Admire Air Groove's outfit, is that it really only follows 3 color palettes, and that's basically several shades of blue, yellow, and white. When I say several shades of blue, you have this color of blue, and then this one that's basically dark blue or close to purple, which is still on the shade of blue. And then you have yellow here on her ear accessory. And then, of course, white being the primary color of her shoes. And I guess a tertiary miscellaneous color for her leather collar, which is brown. But it's very small that it's not noticeable. And it's surrounded, the brown The brown color is surrounded by the primary colors of her outfit, which, like I said, it's gold and different shades of blue, similar shades of blue. So it's not difficult to look at, right? Because this brown color, as you can see, the brown color has gold accents on the ring in the middle. And then it's also right next or attached to this this shoulder cape thingy that's colored dark purple. So yeah, really, really good. As a student of Tracen Academy, she is a member of the student council, and a lot of the student council members are very, how do I say this? They have something special about them. Of course, student council president is none other than Simbali Rudolph. But just to name a few members of the student council, you have Air Groove, Narita Bryan, Marozensky. I think Mr. CB is also part of that. But yeah, basically all of these horses that are part of the student council have several achievements. Very notable achievements that not every Uma or your average horse would have. Now, as a student council member, Air Groove takes her responsibilities very seriously. I did play through her Umamusume story, and I remember that her main problem, Air Groove has had many trainers drop out because they have difficulty working with her, because Air Groove herself cannot seem to balance student council responsibilities with her responsibilities as an Uma. And it is one of the things that you, as a trainer during her Umamusume story, first you reconcile with that, and then you find a way to work with Air Groove. So probably here, not easy to work with, but is a very strong and responsible Uma. I think it's a decent way to word it. Because to be fair, Air Groove as an Umamusume is very well respected. Like anyone competing against Air Groove does not want to, will not underestimate her. And of course, being a member of the student council, she is no joke. Okay, next is Biwa Hayahide, one of my favorite Umas. This is the first Uma that I actually like saved for and I prepared for rolling. And ooh. Wow, I want to use this. Oh wait. There we go. All right. Right. So, Biwa Hayahide, being a member of BNW. BNW being the acronym for Biwa Hayahide, Narita Taishin, and Winning Ticket. The reason why these three were given that acronym is because they competed for the Triple Crown at the same time, and each one of them won one leg each of the classic Triple Crown. Biwa Hayahide winning the Kikasho, Winning Ticket, winning Japan Derby, and Narita Taishin winning the Tatsuki Show. A couple of quirks and fun facts about Biwa Hayahide. She really loves bananas. Apparently, the IRL horse, no matter what Biwa Hayahide is eating, if it is like, it can be a carrot, it could be hay, anything. The moment you try to feed her a banana, she'll spit out whatever she's eating just so she can eat bananas. She really loves bananas. On top of that, the reason why she has such floofy AF hair, like not many horses, it's not like not many horses have a lot of hair, but this is a lot. quite funny, Biwa Hayahide is known for having a very big face, a very big head for a horse. And a lot of commentators and fans alike, they kind of theorized that having that big head kind of helped her win races. To be fair, for those of you who are thinking, that's silly, how does having a big head help you win? Do note that in one of the most famous bouts of Daiwa Scarlet and Vodka, Vodka won by 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters. That is a very, very small distance. If Biwa Hayahide was in Daiwa Scarlet's place, there is a very good chance that Biwa Hayahide would have won that. Because of having a very big head. Or rather, a bigger head than average. So, yeah. That is also why in-game, her victory animation and her comic and a lot of her dialogue reflects about her insecurity, and I guess, like, I don't have a big head. A lot of her jokes are like that. And I remember one dialogue, if you ask her why she keeps her hair long and floofy, despite her suffering from like hair problems, especially during summer. So the reason why she keeps her hair this way, if she cuts her hair any shorter, basically it's going to make her head look really, really big. And that's why she keeps it very long and floofy like this, which I think is nice, which I think is cute. Very, very nice. What if they trained horses to stick out their tongue at the goal? I mean, at the goal, I think I haven't seen a horse do that. But there are some horses, Gold Ship, for example, who have won races with their tongue out. Like that is one particular horse, and of course it's Gold Ship. So for Biwa Hayahide, very focused on their personal goals, but works well with you. Okay, we'll put Biwa Hayahide here. So Biwa Hayahide is very focused about the winning formula, right? The winning formula. And it's not like she dismisses everything that you do as a trainer, whatever you have planned for her. It's just that she is always focused on that, and honestly that is why she likes working with you, because story-wise you also adjust to her goals and you kind of like you try to match that ambition she has, which I really like. Okay, next. Oh boy, Daiwa Scarlet. This one. Daiwa freaking Scarlet. I remember Daiwa Scarlet is our tutorial Uma. It's the first Uma that the game lets us train. And of course, in terms of like design and whatnot, she's way up there. I mean, big bags, big assets, big hair. And of course, the overall design is very royal. I absolutely love Daiwa Scarlet's design. And of course, the little fang over here, very, very cute charm point. And she has that kind of tsundere vibe going with her. And of course, her obsession with being number one. As you can see in her pose, she wants to be number one. And to be fair, the real mare, the real Daiwa Scarlet, being a daughter of Agnes Tachyon, did inherit some of Agnes Tachyon's talents and genes. And because of that, Daiwa Scarlet never placed worse than second. In 12 of her races, she has won all of them. 8 being first place placements and 4 of them being second place placements, which I think is a very insane achievement. And of course, she had to go up against her rival mare Vodka. We'll go into further detail later on. But Daiwa Scarlet is a very competitive mare. A very competitive mare. And that tiara being silver is a cute but also sad, a very cute but sad reference to Daiwa Scarlet, because if I recall correctly, Daiwa Scarlet, she was supposed to compete. Daiwa Scarlet was supposed to compete in the Japan Oaks, which is stage 2 of the classic tiara. But she got a fever. Unfortunately, she got a fever before Japan Oaks, so she didn't compete. So the reason why it's silver is because she got 2. She got 2 of the 3 tiara race wins. She won Okasho, and then she won Shukasho. So she was short 1 crown, which is darn shame. As a student, Daiwa Scarlet is considered to be an honor student, very hardworking. And it's part of her events and her career mode. You find out that she sneaks out to train late at night, sometimes early in the morning, because she is just obsessed with being number 1, which I highly respect that. And not like she is difficult to work with. Like, she is particularly easy to work with if you, of course, share her obsession with being number 1. I really love that about Daiwa Scarlet. So I'll put her here. She's very, very focused on her personal goals. She literally won't take anything but first place, which again is not realistic, but I love that ambition, that ambitious part of her. So, all right, next is Karen-chan. Hiccup, sorry. Ooh, hiccup again. 2 particular Umas. I was saving up for anime Teo McQueen and Biwahai Hide, and Karen-chan's banner was close to those, so I really had to pass on Karen-chan. But notable parts about Karen-chan, like I mentioned, being a mare that had Ikezoe as a jockey already put the spotlight on her. Because for those who don't know, of course, Ikezoe is a jockey who is known for jockeying very difficult to work with horses, very temperamental ones. Just to name a few, Sweet Tosho, Dream Journey, or Fev. Yeah. He had to work with those Umas. But he did say that Karen-chan over here was one of the few horses that he jockeyed that actually respected him, that didn't want to hurt him. Very easy to work with, according to Ikezoe. And according to a lot of fans, and I believe the stable owners of Karen-chan, Karen-chan is more dog than horse, because Karen-chan as a horse loved to be pet and liked licking people's hands like, like a dog. As for her record, her record consists of 18 runs, 9 wins. Her G1 wins are Sprinter Stakes and Takamatsu no Miyakinen, so she is a sprinter. Oh, hiccup. Voice crack. She is a sprinter, much like King Halo and Sakura Bakushin O. And I think that's cool. I think that is absolutely cool. Now, as for her outfit, I think this is a very ingenious way to make black and white color silks pop out. Because if you notice, right, a lot of our Umas have very colorful outfits, so they really stand out in a race. How do you make a black and white outfit pop in a race compared to everyone else, right? It's this very bright shade of red that will it will draw your eyes to it. On her ear accessory, on her arm, and on her socks, it's very bright red. And I like how they're following the usual rule of three when it comes to colors in an outfit. Primarily, you want to use no more than three. And she is using no more than three. She is using black, white, and red. I think it looks brown because of the lighting, but I'm pretty sure this is black. If it's not black, then it's brown, dark brown. Either way, it's still three colors, which I think is nice. Okay. Okay, I think I have to make a particular let's see. I think for this tier, honestly, not enough information, experience to properly evaluate. This is where we're gonna put Karin-chan, unfortunately. Like I said, I have very little information to work with because I did not pull for them. I did not train them. But they are generally great to train. But is generally great, fun Uma to train, hang out. And then we'll put, I guess, if it needs, we'll put another tier for the negative part of this. Anyway. Next is El Condor Pasa. Oh boy, El Condor Pasa. One of the members of the Golden Generation, El Condor Pasa. El Condor Pasa, right? Dressed like a luchador, I guess, because of her very colorful outfits. I mean, even her ult animation has her bouncing off the corners, right? Which is really, really fucking cool. Notable things about El Condor Pasa as a horse. She was bred in foaled. She was foaled in the US and moved here like Grass Wonder. And she was a very, very dominant horse. I believe El Condor Pasa, this was during a time where not many foreign horses could participate in G1 races, which is very, very unfortunate for the timing. But nonetheless, El Condor Pasa did gather a lot of attention, even though she lost to Silent Suzuka in Mainichi Okan. Was it Mainichi Okan? Hang on, I have to be sure. I have to get my facts straight. I think it was Mainichi Okan. Yeah, it was. It was Mainichi Okan. Mainichi Okan is one of the more popular races, even though it's G2. Because this was the race where she would go up against Silent Suzuka and Grass Wonder. And Silent Suzuka beat both El Condor Pasa and Grass Wonder, two particularly dominant horses in that generation, by a convincing lead. Like, it wasn't even close. Silent Suzuka was just something else. So yeah, one of the very popular races of all time, even though El Condor Pasa didn't win. Notable achievements: El Condor Pasa did win Japan Cup a year before Special Week did. She also participated in the Grand del Arc, Prix de Arc de Triomphe. Right, sorry, I'm pretty sure I butchered that. The Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. It's considered to be the holy grail of JRA, Japanese horse racing, because number one, it is a very prestigious G1 horse race that happens in, you guessed it, France. And El Condor Pasa is one of the few horses that gave the best results of that for Japan in that race. She placed second. Other horses that produced second place placements, arguably better than El Condor Pasa, Nakayama Festa. Yes, a child of Stay Gold. Nakayama Festa lost at second place by only a neck. Only a neck. Whereas El Condor Pasa was a couple of lengths, like just very few lengths behind first place. And then Orfev won, got second place twice, which is crazy. And the thing about Orfev won the Prix Foy, which is the preparation race for the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. So Orfev was really expected to win that, but as history showed, Orfev got second. But getting second twice in a row is already a big achievement. And other than that, of course, El Condor Pasa being part of the golden generation really made El Condor Pasa very, very popular. Now, let's see. As an Uma and as a partner, I guess, El Condor Pasa really focuses on being like, the strongest in the world. And she's like very proud of herself. But as we did learn, that confidence, that pride she has, it's juxtaposed by her inner demons and her inner doubt. That mask helps her keep the confidence, but based on the story, day after day she is constantly trying to fight the doubt. Is she good enough? And she's trying to live to the expectations of her father being a very prominent, popular horse. And IRL, to be fair, IRL, she does have to live up to the expectation of her father, who is, I believe it's King Mambo. So about El Condor Pasa, as a trainer, you are basically trying to you're trying to teach her how to train properly, because she does exert a little bit too much effort, because again, she's trying to live up to the to her own expectations for King Mambo, her father. And of course, this confidence that she puts on with the mask. It is a mask. So it does, pun intended, it does mask the doubt and inner voices that she tries to fight. So as a trainer, you are trying to balance the overexertion with like, we'll reach your goals, right? We'll reach your goals for sure, but let's do it properly, right? We don't want the horse to end their career early because actually wait, we don't want the horse to end their career early because they got injured due to training too much. So yeah, we'll do that. Wait, I think for this one, let's make it, there we go. All right. So we'll put El Condor Pasa here. I'll put El Condor Pasa there. Like, I honestly think she doesn't have too many negatives. I mean, her... Actually, no. I'll put her here. My bad. Like, you really have to fight with that constant doubt that she has. And again, the overexertion that she does. And if you play through her Ura career, right? If you play through her Ura career, it's not exactly the hardest, but she does have a couple of challenging races. So again, despite having a very stellar record, shall we say. A very stellar record of 8 wins. Man. Despite having a very stellar record of 8 wins in 11 races, right? She still has her quirks. And fun fact, right? Fun fact, the reason why people theorize, the reason why she wears a mask, even though El Condor Pasa IRL did not even wear a mask, the reason people theorize is that El Condor Pasa as a horse did not have any distinct features, right? Like, as a horse, El Condor Pasa wasn't like particularly large. She wasn't particularly small. She wasn't also particularly muscular or lean. She looked like an ordinary horse, IRL. And that's why they put the mask on to make her stand out. Like, if you take this mask away, she does kind of look like an ordinary Uma. But I think that's part of her charm. Okay, next Uma is... Gold Ship. Gold Ship! Being a foal of Stay Gold already, just by being a foal of Stay Gold, you are very talented already from the get-go. It also helps that Gold Ship has Mejiro McQueen genes in her, so her performance as a horse is no short of like Hall of Fame greatest of all time. Now despite I'm not going to directly compare Ogre Cap, but just to set expectations. Ogre Cap is one of, if not the most loved horse in JRA history. But out of the gray horses, gray or white-haired horses, you are looking at the most successful one. Despite Gold Ship in-game and in real life being very goofy, quirky, right? 12 billion yen incident, etc. Despite that, Gold Ship is the most successful gray/white-haired horse at 6 G1 wins. Although Gold Ship is not a Triple Crown horse like her brother Orfev, who is a Triple Crown, Gold Ship did win 2. Gold Ship did win Kikasho and Satsuki Sho, and 4 more G1 wins after that. I remember she did win Arima Kinen. I think she won 2 Takarazuka Kinens and then one of the Tendo shows, I think. I forget what exactly, but she did win 6 G1 races, which again is a monumental achievement. Around this era, the standard of like the record to break is 7. Simberly Rudolph ended her career with 7 G1 wins, and that was kind of like the achievement a lot of horses tried to reach. 7 G1 wins. Of course, that record has been broken. One of the biggest names to ever do that is Almond Eye. Almond Eye has 10 G1 wins in her belt. And on top of that, she is a triple tiara horse. So, yeah, crazy. But during this timeline, 7. And Gold Ship was short 1 G1 race to match Simberly Rudolph, which is a very big achievement in my honest opinion. Now, of course, as a horse, we all know the memes about Gold Ship making funny faces, being very rowdy, the 12 billion yen incident, etc. And to be fair, that really is part of Gold Ship's charm. I mean, a lot of people did say Gold Ship seems to be a very intelligent horse. That Gold Ship is kind of like an attention seeker almost. Gold Ship knows if they are on camera, if people are cheering for Gold Ship, that's usually the only time that he locks in. Like, one of the most popular YouTube videos right now for Gold Ship is Gold Ship enjoying retirement. It's a 4 or 5 year old video, but I recommend you guys watch, because at some point in that clip, when Gold Ship hears the record, the video recording button, Gold Ship just stares at them and then starts running. I think that's really cool. It sounds like a coincidence, but I think Gold Ship is smart enough to know that, you know, what is sort of happening. You should watch his retirement. I did. I watched the retirement ceremony. Some guy yelled at him to get moving. You stop right there. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Huh? Like, you could literally hear... Hang on. Let me use the Uma Explorer. You could literally hear Gold Ship in that retirement ceremony. I'm sure a lot of you have heard this line, this voice line from Gold Ship if you've trained her in Ura. Hang on. Where is that voice line? Oh, this one.
Huh?
Yep. When you fail a training session, she's like,
Huh?
Yep. That's exactly what popped into my head when Gold Ship was looking at the crowd. What'd you say? Huh? You telling me what to do, bitch? It's my retirement ceremony. I swear, I love Gold Ship. And of course, one of my favorite clips of Gold Ship as a horse, when Gold Ship was in the the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Oh my god, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Gold Ship was basically just giving the crowd fan service. When they were leading the horses to the gates after the paddock, Gold Ship strayed from the pack and went to the crowd. And all the jockey could do was like, I can't steer this horse away. I'll just let Gold Ship do what Gold Ship wants. And hopefully, after all of this is done, Gold Ship goes to the gates. Hopefully. There is a saying, right? There are a lot of anecdotes about Gold Ship. One of my favorite ones, if you bet on Gold Ship, you're an idiot. If you do not bet on Gold Ship, you're also an idiot. God. And of course, for the jockeys also had an anecdote. Number 1, pray that Gold Ship wants to run. Number 2, don't use the whip. Don't use the whip became more prominent in Gold Ship's later career when jockeys used the whip less. Because to be fair, jockeys still had to tell Gold Ship, like, yeah, can you start accelerating? But they can't use it as they would conventionally do on most horses. Use the whip and you're gonna get thrown the fuck off. Especially late in Gold Ship's career. Gold Ship really became much more rebellious. And speaking of late, after Gold Ship retired, when the physicians checked out Gold Ship's physique, they were like, what the fuck is up with this horse? There are no health anomalies. Now, of course, the fan theory is that this bitch never gave her all in any of her races, which can be true. But if we're speaking straight up facts, that just speaks testament to, like, Gold Ship's physical capability. Like, Gold Ship is just that flexible and that muscular. Now, of course, as a Trayson Academy student, Gold Ship likes playing pranks, particularly on Menshiro McQueen. And even you as a trainer, I mean, we all know the victory screen of Gold Ship literally drop kicking you. And of course, her voice lines when she wins, it's very like, girl, do you even sound like you're actually trying hard or whatever? Like, you sound like you're not here to win. You're just here because, yay, I get to do what I want. Because, oh yeah, this one.
Wow!
Yeah. That's literally her voice line when you win a non-G1 race, I believe. Yeah. And yeah, she just like spin and then wow, first place pose. That's it. Good genes to be honest, whole families. Yes, exactly. I know that entire family. To be fair, I mentioned this earlier, Rin, when I was talking about El Condor Pasa. When I was talking about El Condor Pasa, how El Condor Pasa is one of the horses that produced the best results for Japan. in the Prix d'Arc de Triomphe at second place. Three of Japan's best results came from the Stay Gold family alone. Nakayama Festa was the best result they got, who lost by only a neck or a head. Orfev got second twice in a row. All from the same family, by the way. All from Stay Gold. That line of genes of those kids are just something else. Yes, you get the Sunday silence plus Stay Gold temperament and quirks, but my god, you get crazy good horses in return. Stay Gold small though? Yeah, Stay Gold very small. But you know, the smaller the body, the more concentrated the evil and the chaos. Yeah, we'll definitely put Gold Ship right here. Let them do what they want, else you face consequences. But to be fair, right? To be fair, Gold Ship is very difficult to train with. To train in general. And again, being around her as a fellow student or as a trainer, very difficult. We all know the Fickle Maiden event. We all know that. And we know how many mood down events Gold Ship has. But when Gold Ship locks the fuck in, Gold Ship locks the fuck in. Same goes for Agnes Tachyon. When they lock in, they lock the fuck in. Otherwise, they're not easy to deal with. Alright, next. Oh boy. Grass Wonder. Grass Wonder. And of course, I have to say this. I sound like a broken record at this point, but I have to say it again. Of course, rest in peace. Grass Wonder, the last of the golden generation, joined the rest of them. But yes, Grass Wonder, who I consider to be the true nemesis of Special Week, because Special Week faced Grass Wonder a couple of times and Grass Wonder always won. And to be fair, look at that look in her eyes. She's not kidding around. One of my favorite tweets, meme tweets from from a Twitter account, like when Taurus Cup was about to start, they got this picture of Grass Wonder and they put the captions, "I'm going to run through L's fucking chest." And the tweet was basically, we asked, how is Grass Wonder feeling about Taurus Cup? "I'm going to run through L's fucking chest." But other than that, Grass Wonder as a horse did get a lot of notable achievements, especially considering how difficult it was for a foreign horse to race in that generation. There are not many notable, sorry, a lot of foreign horses are blocked from participating in a number of G1 races. One of them, of course, being the classic Triple Crowns. But of course, some of the notable wins of Grass Wonder here is they're not allowed to race in Japan Cup. Japan Cup, they were, I believe, because Japan Cup is open to international. It's an international race. So, I mean, El Condor Pasa won a Japan Cup, so they were allowed. But the classics, they weren't allowed. So, yeah, it's the Derby. So, Japan Derby, Satsuki Sho, Kika Sho, they were not allowed to race those. But her most notable wins are 2 Arima Kinens and Takarazuka Kinen. Of 2 of those, she faced Special Week. And to rub salt on Special Week's wounds, that second Arima Kinen that she won was Special Week's retirement race. Grass Wonder couldn't let Special Week retire with a win if it meant losing to Special Week. Grass Wonder beat Special Week in her final race. And to be fair, outside of that, Grass Wonder, I think, is definitely our first here for model student. I mean, she really literally has the Yamato Nadeshiko vibes, and other than her very hyper competitive nature, she's just great to be with. Like, she's definitely a model student. Like, honestly, I'm considering putting Biwa Hayahide over here. Actually, I'll put Biwa there. She'll cut you down, yeah. I am still gonna keep Daiwa Scarlet here because, to be fair, Daiwa Scarlet is definitely really focused on her goal of being number one. He was the best older sister, at least in Umamusume. Older sister to Narita Bryan. I guess in a lot of senses, yes. There are a lot of things in Biwa Hide's character compared to Narita Bryan where she's better than Narita Bryan. But we'll get into that later. And again, just a reminder for all of you, this tier list is going to focus on Umas that have been released. I've skipped a couple that I wanted to put already, like Admire Vega and Cheval Grand, but we're gonna have to skip them for now because they haven't released globally. I think this is the one horse that if you actually talk smack about Haru Urara anywhere, I think the internet's gonna be out to get you. Because seriously, like, I can sort of relate to that because, come on, we don't speak ill about Haru Urara because the world literally loves the fact that after 100+ races, she never won one, but she never stopped. She never stopped. She never stopped racing. 100% certain there are Haru antis, of course. It's the internet. Anything good, anything close to perfect, Ibarra, there will be people who are against it, or they will hate for the sake of hating it. I am fully aware. But I know for a fact that even they have to be careful around Haru Urara because people will instinctively protect her. I'm very confident in that. But yeah, for Haru Urara as a real-life horse, Haru Urara surprisingly had a very promising... In my opinion, Haru Urara has a very promising prodigy. I think the sire is Nippon Teo. Nippon Teo was featured in Cinderella Grey, for those who didn't watch. Nippon Teo is named Aikitsu Teo. They didn't get the rights for Nippon Teo, so they had to rename Nippon Teo. But that's basically Haru Urara's sire, IRL. For those wondering, who is this Aikitsu Teo? She's hot. TLDR, she's hot, but just to get an image of Aikitsu Teo, this is what Aikitsu Teo looks like. So the real horse, Nippon Teo, was a very successful horse for let me get the data we have. One day. Yes, I'm looking at the record now. A lot of these are very big wins. Tenno Show Autumn, Mile Championship, Yasuda Kinen. Yeah, Teo, Nippon Teo was called the Mile Monarch during this era because a lot of Nippon Teo or Aikitsu Teo's wins are on medium distances, so mile. And of course, it's surprising that despite the promising performance, right, of Nippon Teo, Haru Urara did not win a single one. Now, a little fun fact, it took a while. Like, you'd be surprised, like, what? After 30 wins, she started becoming a sensation? No. The timing of her losing streak actually played well into her popularity. When she was losing at about, like, 70 plus losses, one of the commentators noted this, like, wow, this has never happened before. And it happened at, ironically, the best time. During this time when Haru Urara was losing God knows how many races, Japan was suffering an economic recession. And the fact that everybody's favorite, this bundle of joy, Haru Urara, the fact that she kept racing, it gave people hope. Like, wait, she lost 70 plus times and she's still racing? She's still racing? Even though the odds are poorly stacked against her? It gave people something to hope for. And that is where her popularity started to skyrocket. I mean, her popularity is so impactful that when people started going to the race course where she mostly participated in, the amount of money they got from betting tickets and spectator tickets actually saved the race course from closing down due to like bankruptcy and shit. And people consider the tickets, the betting tickets for Haru Urara as protective charms, omamori, because she basically you're guaranteed that that ticket is not going to get cashed in or hit, quote unquote. The handler of Haru Urara was not particular. The owner at the time was not particularly nice to Haru Urara. But because of fan outcry and of course media coverage and shit, thankfully she's still with us today. And I think the band-aids all over her legs are a nice touch because it does show that girl has lost and failed and gotten hurt throughout her entire racing career. But look at that smile. Look at that unbreakable smile. She still wants to race. And of course, it is the dream of most Umamusume trainers, right? To fulfill the dream of Haru Urara of winning Arimakinen despite her having the worst aptitude for both turf and long distance. Like, people still want to win it. Like, damn. Now, of course, outside of her real career, Haru Urara is literally like a very good friend of Rice Shower. And I think I think she works as a very good non-conflicting foil is how I would describe it. Because Haru Urara, on one end, is a horse that is celebrated for her losses, and then you have Rice Shower, who is hated for her wins. Complete opposites. Despite that, Haru Urara works well as a foil for Rice Shower because every time something bad happens, Rice Shower just turns it into I suck. But Haru Urara would I suck or it's my fault. Haru Urara would flip that and say, no, this is good. Haru Urara will make a bad situation look good, and Rice Shower will make a bad situation make it look like it's her fault. So the two are a very nice foil. So, well, she's not a model student, but this is why I am going to do this. Yeah, we are making a tier just for Haru Urara. Unfair? Maybe. Deserved? Absolutely. We put Haru Urara here. That's non-negotiable. Alright, next is King Halo. I'm sorry, whenever I see King Halo, I just remember what Sheikah said about King Halo. I still cannot get that out of my head. If you're watching, Sheikah, yeah, you're gonna have to live with this for a while. The fact that Sheikah said, I cannot stand King Halo. And I'm like, oh man, like I know that's a first impression, but I'm like, did you even like understand King Halo as a character? And of course, cutscene skipper Sheikah has no fucking clue about King Halo. So I'm like, yeah, you shut the hell up. All right. But here's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I know for a fact that her laughter is it's a trope. It's a popular trope, but popularly liked and or hated. You really, as an anime fan, you either like or you hate the laugh. But for me, that laugh is part of her personality. It plays into her personality and background perfectly. I may not like it in an audio sense, but honestly, I'm like, no, this is perfect. This is perfect for King Halo. She has to laugh like that. And forgive me, those in chat, but you guys have to hear. you guys will have to hear the laugh, because for those who don't know, this is what her laugh sounds like. I struggled with King Halo's career a couple of times, so I have gotten used to listening to King Halo's laugh. Wow, where the heck is King Halo? One chotto a moment. There you are. All right, so you guys heard this a lot.
このキングに不可能なんてないんだから。
Yeah. There. That laugh. I know for a fact not many people like it. That's totally fine. It can be annoying, yes. But that laugh for me is perfect for her character. I mean, King Halo is insanely ambitious. The fact that she knows that the spotlight is on her because promising father, promising mother, both of them have stellar careers. So people put two and two together, then their child must have a very stellar career. And literally one of her goals in the story is to make the people not see her as Goodbye Halo's daughter, but see her mother, see King Halo's mother as King Halo's mother. She wanted to flip expectations. Like, don't look at me as my mother's daughter. No, look at my mother as my mother. Like, I like that ambition and confidence in her. And if any of you watched the JRA commercial, did King Halo's mother ever relent? A little bit. A little bit. If you unlock the secret event of winning Arimakinen in the last year, in the senior year of King Halo's career, because it's an optional race. You do not have to run Arimakinen in senior year as King Halo, but you do get bonus. You do get bonus stuff if you do and win. If you win, King Halo's mother is still kind of like that, but King Halo drops her phone because she's being called, and then you pick up the phone, and then King Halo's mother actually talks to you. And she basically tells you, I know that my daughter is difficult to work with, but I hope you can keep working with her. So I'd like to believe, right? I will still not approve of King Halo's mother's methods. But I'd like to believe, because I'm just generally, I try to be optimistic. I like to believe that the reason why King Halo's mother is like that is because she wants to push King Halo. Like, more tough than love in tough love. King Halo's mother is giving King Halo tough love, but more tough than love, if anything else. But I genuinely like to believe that King Halo's mother is not like outwardly or at least 100% malicious, right? Malicious towards King Halo. I don't think so. I mean, I am aware that you believe in the inherent goodness of people. I like to believe that. It's good for my soul. It's good for my soul. So yeah. In the JRA commercial of King Halo, it's really, really fucking cool. They basically say in the JRA commercial of King Halo, after losing 9 G1 losses. 9 of them. 9. She still kept racing. And do note, King Halo was part of the Golden Generation. She was compared to Saiyan Sky, Grass Wonder, El Condor Pasa, and Special fucking Week. All of them had achievements. All of them. Except her. Except her. But she finally got one. And this for me, kind of like, this is where people have to temper their expectations. A lot of us are used to horses winning multiple G1s, that we forget winning one is already an achievement in of itself. King Halo is remembered not for the amount of G1s she won, but the amount of G1s she lost before she got her first. The Takamatsu no Miyakinen. It's a sprinter Grand Prix race. It's a sprinter's Grand Prix race, and she won. That's her first G1 win. Yeah, there's usually 17 other horses more often than not. Yeah, you have to compete against 17 horses. And, by the way, her retirement race, I believe was it against Orfev? No. Can't be. Shit, I forget. Hang on. There was one Arimakinen where she was up against a pretty stacked lineup. Hang on. Was it 2011? 2011. Who was in this race? Oh, no. Sorry. It was not Orfev. It was TM Opera O. It was TM Opera O's Arimakinen in 2000. And King Halo was part of it. Just to note, a lot of big names were part of this race. Just to name a few. Tsurumaru Tsuyoshi is a very big name. Narita Top Road, TM fucking Opera O, Stay Gold, Meisho Doto. Big names in this race. This was King Halo's retirement race. Now, unfortunately, King Halo, that's King Halo right there, number 10. Unfortunately, King Halo loses this, but against a pretty stacked, like, roster and late, this is 2000s, late in your career, and this is your result, I think that's pretty damn good. Retirement race and you place like 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth or fourth. That's highly respectable. And again, you're against TM Opera O, Meisho Doto, Narita Top Road, Tsurumaru Tsuyoshi, and Stay Gold. First, Stay Gold didn't really perform well within Japan itself. Yeah, I mean, Stay Gold was similar to Nice Nature because Stay Gold had the reputation of being a silver bronze collector, but the one G1 race that Stay Gold actually won sort of propelled the international dream of Japan. Because Stay Gold would end his career as the first Japan-bred horse, to win a G1 race overseas. Like that sort of propelled the idea that Japan can win a race abroad. And to be fair, the genes speak for themselves. Orfev got second twice in France, and the Nakayama Festa got second as well. There's just something crazy about Stay Gold's line. Of course, other than King Halo, in her career itself, I really like the unpredictability, honestly, of King Halo. King Halo doesn't like defeat. But she is not delusional to think that it's not her fault. She just hates the reminder that, yeah, even a king can lose. I mean, literally one of her quotes for the race is, if you lose. Yeah, like, she expects to win, but she's like, damn, how could I lose? No, I couldn't have lost it. No, like, how could I? she just has insane expectations for herself. And unfortunately, that's part of her upbringing. That's because of how King Halo's mother in particular treats King Halo. And it's also how, you know, the media and spectators keep putting her up on a podium like, oh, it's the daughter of course King Halo did well, because King Halo's mother, it's always King Halo's mother. And that is a shadow she had to escape. Now, at the end of it, at the end of the career, her goal really was to uplift and be an inspiration for all Umamusume. That's why I kind of compare her to TM Opera O. TM Opera O has the same, different approach, but the same goal. TM Opera O wants to inspire and uplift Umamusume in her own way. And King Halo kind of wants the same goal, and I highly respect that. Other than that, I don't think she is particularly difficult to work with. She's just really focused on, her goals. I mean, to be fair, like, no, actually, no. Just on her career alone, she has to be here. Her career is very brutal. You are changing from medium long races to sprint mile. You're almost racing for, to be fair, you don't have to win, you do not have to win Arimakinen or Kikasho, to be fair. But my god, it's brutal. It's fucking brutal. Especially for people who are free to play, or for those like me who are Uma pullers. Like people who pull for Umas more than they pull for support cards. Not an easy one. Not an easy one. But I highly respect King Halo. I love King Halo. Okay. Next is Maruzensky. Ah, yes. Maruzensky, the supercar. Okay. So, for those who don't know about Maruzensky as a horse. Oh, yes. I also remembered Maruzensky is also part of the student council of Trayson Academy, the grandmother of Golden Year. Maruzensky was a very unfortunate horse in the sense that she had a perfect record. Eight races, 8 wins. If you sum up the lengths of her wins, it would be double digits, like 70 lengths-ish. 60, 70 lengths total. Because you know how each horse will win by like 5 lengths, 6 lengths. So in 8 races, that means that average, she won by 8 lengths. Average. 8 lengths. 7 lengths average. That's insane. Competition was afraid of... Oh yes, they were very afraid of Maruzensky. Now, unfortunately, Maruzensky being a foreign-bred horse was not allowed to participate in the classics. And till this day, a lot of people lament that the rules weren't changed in time for Maruzensky. We will talk about who helped that change later on. We'll get there. Other than that, as an Umamusume, Maruzensky is very... How do I say it? She kind of is like a very big sister mother figure, I guess. She's very caring towards other Umas and even you as a trainer. And she still has her ambitions, of course, and her responsibilities as a, as a student council member. And honestly, like, this is the easiest, like, I'm gonna put her here. Absolutely. Very, very easy. Very easy to put her here. Alright, next. The one horse that a lot of people say they have difficulty pronouncing. Matekane Fukukitaru. And who's right next to Matekane Fukukitaru? Matekane Tanhoiza, of course. Matekane Fukukitaru. I have very little experience with this horse, but I will say one of the achievements, honestly, of Matekane Fukukitaru, she was one of the few horses that did actually defeat Matikane. Sorry. Matikane Kokitaru is one of the few horses that did defeat Silent Suzuka quite during the peak of, if not in the peak, it was when Silent Suzuka was starting to find it's when Silent Suzuka started to get like comfortable with winning. So yeah, notable wins is Kikasho, and it was one of the Shimbun highs where yes. It was the Kobe Shimbun high. It was a Kobe Shimbun high where Matekane Fukukitaru actually beat Silent Suzuka. And the acceleration of Matekane Fukukitaru is actually what beat Silent Suzuka during that race. And of course, gotta bring her up. It's probably more commonly pronounced Machikane. True. It is Machikane Fukukitaru or Machikane Tanhoiza. But of course, for our English-speaking Foxtrots, it's Matekane Fukukitaru and Matekane Tannhauser. Like, I don't think there's an incorrect version. It's like, is it Eris or Erith? Honestly, it's just up to you if you're using the Japanese version or the English version. It's both are okay. I mean, I did discuss this before, and there is a horse whose name is, I honestly think in English, right? I call it English because in Japanese, the horse's name was it Love is Bullshit? I'm trying to find that race. Was it in, hang on, I believe it was in Orfev's race. I think this was in Orfev's race in Arimakinen. That there was a horse named, there it is. Yeah, see, look, I'll show it to you guys. So you guys know I'm not capping. Look at this. Love is Bullshit. I'm pretty sure, obviously, the owner of that horse cannot put bullshit in the name. But I'm pretty sure that was their intention. If you listen to the commentary, when this name was called out, I'm like, Love is Bullshit? Rabu is bullshit. Okay, owner, you're a very funny guy. So I honestly think like you can say Love is Bullshit or Love is Bullshit, but they're still in love, clearly. Yeah, they are. But yeah, for Matekane Fukukitaru, quite frankly, yeah, I do not have enough information or experience to properly evaluate Matekane Fukukitaru, but I really like them. And based on the events, interactions I've seen of Matekane Fukukitaru with other Umas, they're great. And of course, we cannot forget her interaction with Taiki Shuttle. The way she says, "No!" When she's teaching Taiki Shuttle a Japanese sentence or something. Like, God, that no was such a visceral no. As if Taiki Shuttle said something heinous or some shit. I'm just like, she didn't say anything bad. It was just a mispronunciation. But man, Matekane Fukukitaru, that was, whew. Here we go. Mayano Top Gun. Yes. I remember I trained Mayano Top Gun quite a lot. Alright. Let's go with Mayano Top Gun. Now, obviously, Mayano Top Gun. The Top Gun is a very clear reference to the movie Top Gun. For those who are unaware, for Top Gun Maverick, they did have a collaboration poster where Mayano Top Gun was basically Tom Cruise in the poster. And to market Top Gun Maverick in Japan, several, including Mayano Top Gun's VA, several Umamusume VAs did meet up with Tom Cruise, and they had like a photo shoot with a photo together with Tom Cruise. I think it's pretty fucking cool. And let's see. Other than that, as a horse, Mayano Top Gun is no slouch, despite what her bubbly personality might mislead you into thinking. Mayano Top Gun was no slouch. Because if you're wondering, oh yeah, then who was her rival? Who was her nemesis? Narita Bryan. Triple Crown winner Narita Bryan. And her notable G1 wins, Kikasho, Arima Kinen, Tennosho Spring, Takarazuka Kinen. So definitely not to be underestimated. Recently in a poll, a popularity poll for JRA, a lot of fans put the Hanshin Daishoten between Mayano Top Gun and Narita Bryan as one of the best bouts, best races to ever watch. I watched it myself. It's pretty freaking scary. Hang on. Hanshin Daishoten. This was when Mayano Top Gun and Narita Bryan were both they were both horses of the year. I believe the current horse of the year was Mayano Top Gun, and then the year prior to that was Narita Bryan. And this was where they met. Yeah, last year's already Mayano Top Gun, meaning she is there has yet to be the horse of the year to be crowned in this year in 1996. So technically, Mayano Top Gun is the horse of the year for this year. The one prior to that is Narita Bryan. And look at this. So, this is a crazy bout because they are literally neck to neck. In 400 meters. Even before that, look. There, this is where Narita Bryan accelerates. That's Narita Bryan on the outside. There. That's already Narita Bryan. Do you know how it's easy to spot Narita Bryan? Pillow cover. The shadow roll. At this point in Narita Bryan's career, the trainers said that Narita Bryan did not need this. Narita Bryan did not need the shadow roll anymore. But the trainer and handler said, fans use the shadow roll to spot Narita Bryan. So let's keep it. Let's keep it on Narita Bryan. So, yeah, see, at this point, on the final corner, Narita Bryan and Mayano Top Gun are fighting here for first place. I'll play the audio for you guys. One sec, let me just... This was late in Narita Bryan's career, and Narita Bryan did start to decline a bit. And let's freeze here and let's go frame by frame. Okay, it's angled here, so it's hard to see, but Narita Bryan won this. Yep, Narita Bryan. Crazy. So the fact that Mayano Top Gun's nemesis, I consider it rival nemesis, at that time was Narita Bryan, who again is a Triple Crown horse and was infamous. Narita Bryan was infamous for winning in a very specific way. Most horses, when they win, if they are not a front runner, they usually catch up in the final stretch. But Narita Bryan broke away from the pack on every win in the Triple Crown series. If you guys watch the Satsuki show, the Japan Derby and Kika show, you will notice Narita Bryan leads by several lengths in every win of that series. Scary. And of course, it helped Narita Bryan that it was nearly a decade since the last Triple Crown winner, so Japan was waiting for one. And Mayano Top Gun had to fight that. That is insane. Now, of course, outside of the real life, Brand's actually a really timid horse off the racetrack, so he might just be trying to keep away from everyone else. Probably. Now, outside of the real life equivalent of Mayano Top Gun, Mayano Top Gun as a Tracen Academy student and an Umamusume is very bubbly. And of course, she likes flirting with you as the trainer. Regardless if you like it or not. I mean, literally, when you win first place as Mayano Top Gun, her line is literally landing kiss. Let me just load up the voice line. Landing kiss.
Landing kiss! Mayachin daishori!
Yeah, that's Mayano Top Gun. So I honestly think she'll definitely be here. Or hang on, let me reevaluate this. Not sure why they made her so into kisses. The thing is, other horses that have that, like Still in Love, there is a theory about Still in Love, Rin. Do you know that? And did you see that tweet when people found out who's the jockey of Still in Love? And the comment section of the tweet were like, I get it. I get her vision. I'm like, people are like, I get her vision. When you have a jockey that handsome, yeah, you kind of understand. You kind of understand Still in Love. And yeah, to be fair, that is a theory, but the more scientific reason why she is like that is because, yeah, of the inbreeding she had to go through. Like, But I wouldn't consider her a model student. I want to put Daiwa Scarlet up here, but actually, no, she deserves to be here. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I keep changing because I keep reevaluating as I go. But yeah, like, to be fair, Daiwa Scarlet is an honor student. So I'd put her here. Alright, next. McQueen! McQueen. Well, what can we say about one of the greatest stayers of all time? Let's see. Well, of course, coming from the Mejiro line of horses, Mejiro McQueen, of course, as you can see, she has that very sophisticated personality and personality and mannerisms about her. But of course, all that is betrayed by her desire to just eat sweets and whatnot. So, yeah. Other than that, though, of course, McQueen, very known for being excellent at long-range races. Of course, she unfortunately lost to Rice Shower. Oh, sorry about that. She unfortunately lost to Rice Shower in Tenno Show Spring. She would have won that like thrice in a row. Imagine that. Outside of that, of course, baseball lover too. Yeah. There are a lot of images of McQueen getting along with Tokai Teo, hilariously enough. And during the time that she was stabled together with Sunday Silence? Oh, wait, no. Was it Sunday Silence or was it Stay Gold? I forget. No. It wasn't. Wait. I have so much horse lore in my head, it's starting to get mixed up. Wait. Oh, yeah, I was right. I was right. It was actually Sunday Silence. During the period where during a period where McQueen was stabled with Sunday Silence, Sunday Silence was kind of intimidated by Metro McQueen, even though I don't think it was McQueen's intention to intimidate Sunday Silence, but they were put to the pasture next to each other, and eventually the two of them became close friends. But of course, one of the more popular ships in Umamusume is Teimaku, Teo McQueen. And to be fair, there are a lot of pictures and video footage of McQueen, the horse, of course, and Teo, the horse, getting along well with each other, which I think is really cute and really nice. Now, outside of the real-life equivalent of Menchiro McQueen, I think this is another easy model student. I mean, she's fucking Mejiro line. And to be fair, other than her, like, I want to eat, but I don't want to gain weight, like, she's practically a model student in Uma. Definitely. All right. Next is Mejiro Ryan. When I look at Mejiro Ryan, I just remember how Shika mistakenly called Narita Brian Jim Bro. And I'm like, you're calling Brian a Jim Bro when the Jim Bro is literally right here. Brother. The true Jim Bro is right here. Look at that pose. And for fuck's sake, doesn't Ryan have like 20% strength growth? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's 20%. It's 20%, for fuck's sake. Her growth rate is at 20%. So yeah, should be the gym bro. Okay. Other than that, of course, Mejiro Ryan. Notable stuff about Mejiro Ryan IRL. For the racing record of Mejiro Ryan, notable for winning Takarazuka Kinen, a couple of G2s, but very notable for actually Ryan's two kids, Mejiro Dober and Mejiro Bright. And a little thing about her hairstyle. The reason why her hairstyle is this short is because the real Mejiro Ryan also had to have their hair cut short because they suffered from what was it called? Alright. It was to prevent parasitical infections. Because Mejiro Ryan in particular was very prone to parasites like creeping in her hair. So they had to cut it short. The sad thing about the kids of Mejiro Ryan, Mejiro Dober and Bright, is that the only living carrier of like a pure Mejiro blood is Mejiro Dober. Now, Mejiro Dober, do note, is a mare, right? Mejiro Dober is a mare. So it's honestly up to the owner of the horse who will breed with her if they want to, or even if they can use the prefix Mejiro. But I think out of respect, I don't think they're going to do that. So Mejiro Dober is the last carrier of the Mejiro prefix, which is like really, really sad. So yeah, outside of that, I trained Mejiro Ryan a couple of times. Not too many times as I want to or could to, because to be fair, most of my training sessions, or rather Ura runs recently, have been in preparation for Gemini Cup, and hilariously the cup after that, the Mile Cup. So I know Ryan is very viable for medium, and I think what's her aptitude for mile? Is it B? Oh no, it's C. Yeah, and her Ryan's aptitude for long is B. Like, you can easily turn that to A, but Mile being at sea? Oh dear. Like, if there is one reason why I'd love to run Ryan in Mile, if I could, is because 20% power growth on a late surger is really good. That's not hard to fix. It's not hard to fix. ... If I had the parents for it, which I don't. I don't have many Mile parents that I would like to use because, again, I always prioritize blue sparks over any other sparks. Borrow one. If only it were that easy. If only it were that easy. And to be fair, Rin, it's going to be easier when we finally get 15 borrows. I remember Japan buffed 3 borrows to 10 and then 15. I'm like, 15 borrows per day? All right, you know what? Thank you. I'm really looking forward to that update. Other than that, though, Ryan for sure will definitely be you only get 5 runs per day anyway, so 3 borrows isn't that bad. True, but for those who have the monies to spare and the parents that do not spare, they'd really love to be able to borrow more times than just 3 times, to be fair. Okay, for Major Ryan. If there is only one quirk about Ryan that I have noticed throughout training McQueen, I have trained McQueen more than Ryan, especially for Gemini Cup. Yeah. Mejiro Ryan, being a Mejiro, still wants to uphold, the standards, the expectations, the achievements, the glory that is the Mejiro line. And McQueen, being considered to be one of the, if anything, the poster child of the Mejiro family, Mejiro Ryan has a little bit of a inferiority complex almost with like Mejiro McQueen. She always wants to like be as good and feels very inferior. Even though Mejiro McQueen constantly praises Ryan. Like, if you guys saw the comic of Ryan in Umamusume, it's literally her, man, I wish I had longer hair so I could style it. McQueen is literally like, but your hairstyle is already cool. Anywho, but yeah, like, other than that, Ryan is a very good student, so I'll put her here. And again, as someone who did train her, she's great. Very easy to work with. Next. Oh, the cyborg. Mihono Bourbon. Ah, yes. Who was apparently trained by Kazuma Kiryu in the anime. And for those who are confused, like, what the fuck do you mean by she was trained by Kazuma Kiryu? If you guys watch season 2 and 3 of the anime, the voice actor for Bourbon's trainer is Takaya Kuroda, the voice actor of the Kazuma John Yakuza Kiryu. It's the same voice actor. So you can sort of headcanon that Kiryu is just doing another side story, another side quest of training Mihono Bourbon. Yeah, he looks like... Yeah, they look alike too. They look very much alike. I'm like, that's literally Kiryu. They even focused on he's practically topless, save for the jacket, but his abs are just straight out there for display. Like, damn, dude. And yeah, like the trainer has a striking resemblance to Kiryu in many ways. But yeah, Bourbon, very very interesting horse. The reason why they call Bourbon the cyborg is very interesting. But notable things though. Bourbon has a record of, I believe, 7-1. I think it was 7-1 or 8-1. Let me get the record right. Bourbon's record as a horse, I think it was Yep, 7-1. The only loss that Bourbon sustained was it was against Rice Shower in Kikkasho. People were once again, they were waiting for another Triple Crown winner, and Bourbon already won Satsuki Show and Japan Derby. And hilariously, second place in that derby was Rice Shower. Kikkasho, everyone was anticipating the birth of another Triple Crown horse, and Rice Shower trampled those dreams, unfortunately. And yeah, I honestly think it's an unfortunate coincidence, Rin, that a lot of Rice Shower's wins were on record-setting races. This being one of them, the other one being McQueen's Tenosho Spring loss. It would have been a record for McQueen to win that thrice, and Rice Shower stopped that. And then, of course, the potential birth of a Triple Crown horse, Rice Shower also stopped that. After that race, Bourbon got injured and retired soon after that, which is very unfortunate. But a lot of things to note about Bourbon. Bourbon had a very, very how do I say it? A very taxing training regimen, because they were training Bourbon for long races, but they wanted to put her in the front. Front runner long race, not easy. So they had to train Bourbon for more so than speed, for stamina and strength, which, yeah, you need that. In the anime, she helped with training Rice. Yep, season 2 with Rice, and season 3, it's Kita-san Black. She helped coach Kita-san Black. The thing why they called Bourbon a cyborg is because Bourbon, in one of the races that she had, Bourbon cleared every single furlong, which is about 200 meters, in the same window of time, which is about 12 seconds. It is a very crazy thing to think about, that a horse clearing all furlongs of a race at the same amount of time. That is wild to think about. Like, how does a horse know to clear every single furlong of a race in the same window of time? Consistency, obviously, but that level of consistency, Rin, especially for Japanese culture, right? Especially for Japanese culture, that level of consistency is unheard of for a horse. That's why they gave Bourbon the nickname Cyborg. And of course, if any... You know what? I'll just show you guys a very funny picture. I have this very funny picture of Bourbon, because if I tell you guys that Bourbon was known for having very large hindquarters, which is very funny because the fan base, especially the Japanese fan base, were criticizing one particular thing about the design of Bourbon. It's not even like, why is her skirt so short? No. They were comparing, why isn't her backside big enough? Is basically the common complaint. Like, those legs or her ass needs to be bigger. And when I'm like, is it really that big? Like, I have no problems with that. But when I did my research, like, how big is Bourbon's, like, hind legs? And when I discovered it, that's when I'm like, okay, I understand it now. I completely understand what they meant. And they are absolutely right. The Japanese player base 100% are very right when they said that Bourbon's the Umamusume Bourbon needs to be, like, at least the legs, or you know what, I'll just be blunt, the ass needs to be bigger, because I'll just show you guys, like, how big is Bourbon's, like, legs. This is the average thoroughbred on the right. most thoroughbreds are basically horses that are like bred and trained for racing. This is the average hind quarter of a horse, of a thoroughbred. This is Bourbon on the left. This is Mihono Bourbon on the left. Look at the size difference. Jesus. Look at the size difference between the two. They're huge. They're fucking huge. That's why I understand the Japanese player base when they said, like, Bourbon's thighs or ass is too small. Make them bigger. I'm like, is it really that big? And then I came across this. Yup, they need to be bigger. Absolutely. Not even for the, you know what? It's the internet in 2025. Ah, Gooner, you want it to be bigger because Gooner. No, I'm talking about accuracy, bro. I'm talking about accuracy. This most horses will have this size for like their hind legs. Bourbon. Bourbon. Jesus Christ. Yes, the Chun-Li of horses. Those legs need to be bigger. Those legs need to be way bigger than that. So yeah, outside of the real life horse equivalent of Mihono Bourbon, as a student, obviously being the cyborg, Bourbon follows the orders of her trainer to the T as best of her capabilities. And of course, precision, consistency is her role, or rather her goal. And as a student, she's still very, very caring, very observative of those around her, especially Rice Shower. If any of you watch the anime season 2, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, I gotta say, one of the best casual outfits of the game, Bourbon. I swear to God, I wish I had her jacket. Her jacket is just so annoyingly sick. Like, obviously, this is the figurine, but it still comes pretty close. Look at that drip. The jacket is really comfy and nice. The shirt is very simple. And of course, the running tights, because she fucking needs it for those supposedly monstrous legs, which this should be thicker. I agree with Andoro on this one. They should be Chun-Li levels of thick. But yeah, like, that is such a nice drip. And again, I really like the consistency of this, where they're using practically 3 colors. White, a little bit of purple. You can consider purple to be on a different shade of blue, so that counts. And then pink. Pink for the accents on the shoes, but primarily 3 colors. I really, really like that. Absolutely love that. Okay, so Bourbon will also be here. And just to remind people, none of these are in any order. Like, this doesn't mean she's more of a model student than Grasswonder. Like, that's not my style. So